what's up everyone? GameDad here, and we are coming back with part 5, the final part of my SNES collection series. Now, we have gone through a large majority of all the games that I have in my collection so far, and this video will bring that to an end. This will show the remaining games that I have in my current SNES collection. So, come with me as we check out what games those are. Super Mario World was released by Nintendo in 1991, and this one is a classic staple on the console. Anyone who had a Super Nintendo had Super Mario World. It was a pack-in on almost every variation, and the game is fantastic. It wasn't the first time it had an overworld, but it really took the overworld to a whole new level, and the gameplay in 16-bit was just mind-blowing at the time. Next up, we have Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, released by Nintendo in 1996, and this was the first time I'm aware of where Square and Nintendo partnered up, especially using an actual Nintendo IP with the Mario franchise. This game is regarded as one of the best games on this console, and it also spawned a future series, which is amazing, which is all of the Paper Mario games, Mario and Luigi, all of those. What a great game. Up next is Super Mario All-Stars and Super Mario World, released by Nintendo in 1993, and this is a combo cart featuring the two games, one of which is actually a pack of remakes of all of the previous games released on the NES, including the Lost Levels, which is the original version in Japan of Super Mario 2. Up next, we have Super Punch-Out, released by Nintendo in 1994, and this takes all of the classic gameplay from the NES with that Punch-Out and Mike Tyson's, all of that stuff, but it gives it a major graphics update as apparent by the 16-bit era, but it also improved gameplay and made everything more seamless, in my opinion, more fun, and honestly, I think this is the best version of this game that's ever been released by Nintendo. And here we have Super R-Type, released by Irem in 1991, and this just continues the classic shoot-'em-up franchise of R-Type. And on this console, it is fantastic. The gameplay is great, it ramps up at a nice steady level, and honestly, for games like this, I prefer playing them only in 16-bit. Sure, you get like all the bullet hell things of modern shooters, but this one, I don't know, it's more fun. It doesn't seem as chaotic. Up next is Super Return of the Jedi, released by LucasArts in 1994, and this is just more classic Star Wars gameplay on the Super Nintendo. This one actually starts out kind of unique compared to the other ones, though. As you can see, you are doing this kind of like F-Zero kind of gameplay in the beginning, and it's really fun actually, very 3D-esque for the console, and it plays really well. It is difficult at times, but it's a lot of fun. Up next is the original one, Super Star Wars, released by LucasArts in 1992, and this is like a side-scrolling beat-em-up slash shooter kind of game. I don't know, it gets pretty chaotic at times, but overall it is pretty fun. I don't think the graphics are as good as the later two games that came out, but it is still a fun game, and I really enjoy the gameplay of all of these LucasArts games on the Super Nintendo. Next up, we have Sydney Hunter and the Caverns of Death, released by Collectorvision Games in 2018, and unfortunately the Retron 5 doesn't really do well with homebrew style games, but this game is actually fantastic. The graphics are great, gameplay is awesome for any kind of platformer that you would expect, and I would highly recommend picking one of these up if you have a Super Nintendo. Up next, we have Tecmo Super NBA Basketball, released by Tecmo in 1993, and this game for a basketball game isn't that bad. You guys know I am not a fan of sports games on gaming consoles, but this one, it felt kind of like NBA Jam, but with a lot more players on the screen, if that makes any sense. But, I mean, it was okay. It was kind of fun, but still, I don't really prefer sports games. Up next is Tetris 2, released by Nintendo in 1994, and honestly, I did not really care for this game. It felt like it was trying to be like Dr. Mario mixed with Tetris. As you can see, you have the different colored shapes, and you have to rotate and match them up to the different colors that are on the screen. But honestly, I mean, if I wanted to play Dr. Mario, I would just play Dr. Mario. I don't need to play an actual Tetris version of it. Here we have The Tick, released by Fox Interactive in 1994, and this game is just a beat-em-up in a tick skin. Now, it is kind of fun and goofy seeing the different mannerisms that the tick has. As you can see right there, he kind of just flicks the bad guy to get him away. But overall, I mean, it feels like pretty much any other beat-em-up, just in a skin of the tick. That's really it. Now, here we have Top Gear, released by Kemco in 1992, And this game is just like straight up arcade racing. I mean, it's fun, graphically it's pleasing, but the game is almost too easy, really. I mean, once I got a hang of the controls, it's pretty much just like any racing game you would expect, and it doesn't really have any real difficulty to it. Now here we have Top Gear 3000, released by Kemco in 1995, and this one they added a whole like backstory, like it's a galactic space race, you know, huge competition going on every millennia. And I mean, the cars look a little more futuristic, but honestly the gameplay of this one was way more fun. They added more depth to the levels, and the tracks were more dynamic. I don't know, this was a really cool game. I like this one. Up next is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 4 Turtles in Time, released by Konami in 1992, and this is like arcade Turtles at its finest. Super fun gameplay, you get all the characters that you would expect, you're going through taking out all of Shredder's minions, and the game is fantastic. On the Super Nintendo, it's much more interactive than the NES versions, which is great. As you saw, you know, you could throw guys into the screen and break the fourth wall. Up next is Uniracers, released by Nintendo in 1994, and admittedly, before doing this video, I had never actually played this game, and it's pretty fun. Once I figured out how to actually control it and make my guy go faster, because I was losing miserably when I first played this game. But overall, it's a really fun concept. I've never seen a unicycle game before, and I mean, for a one-off, it was really fun. Up next, we have Vegas Stakes, released by Nintendo in 1993, and this tries to like add a story to a casino game where you're traveling with friends and all this stuff, and they're joining you at the tables. And I don't know, I don't understand gambling or the obsession with it myself, but playing a video game for it seems even more boring. There's nothing real at stake, so what's the point? And here we have Wolfenstein 3D, released by Imagineer in 1994, and this is classic Wolfenstein on the Super Nintendo. However, everything that kind of made it Wolfenstein was removed per Nintendo's rules, so you can see a picture of Hitler, but you'll have no idea it's Hitler because there's no swastikas anywhere or anything like that. And overall, I mean, it's okay on the Super Nintendo. Up next, we got Marvel Superheroes in War of the Gems, released by Capcom in 1996, and the whole premise of this is you are fighting on Earth to get all of the Infinity Stones for the Gauntlet. So this is just a practice room that I'm playing in right here, and I'm Captain America against evil Daredevil. But overall, I mean, it's just a generic fighting game. There isn't really anything standout that I could see about it. Up next is Yoshi's Cookie, released by Bulletproof Software in 1993. And this game is fun. It's kind of like a Tetris game and kind of like a Dr. Mario game, sort of, but you have stuff coming in from the top and from the side, and you have to get everything to match up by moving around the shapes and the cookies and the hearts and stuff to get it all to line up so that you can clear the screen. Fun concept. Up next is Super Mario World 2, which is Yoshi's Island, released by Nintendo in 1995, and this game is fantastic. It has spawned so many sequels and really kind of set the bar for what the aesthetic of a Yoshi game would be in the future. It's excellent gameplay. You know, you have to keep Baby Mario safe. You go on a collect-a-thon with stars and flowers and stuff, and you're just going on Yoshi's adventure. It's awesome. Up next, we have Yoshi's Safari, released by Nintendo in 1993, and this is a Super Scope game. So you're kind of just riding on the back of Yoshi, and it's like auto-driving you through the course, and your goal is to shoot stuff at all the enemies so that they stop hitting Yoshi, and that's about it. I mean, from the gameplay, it kind of looks like F-Zero meets Yoshi. I don't know, it's kind of weird, but kind of fun. And the last game in this collection series is Zoop, released by Viacom New Media in 1995. And I guess it's kind of like a puzzle strategy game. I don't know. I didn't really understand. I would shoot stuff of one color and it would change my color, and then I would go shoot the same color and sometimes it would go away, sometimes it wouldn't. I don't know. The game kind of confused me, but I mean, it was kind of pretty, I guess. So there you have it, everyone. That is everything that is currently in my Super Nintendo collection. Now, if you've noticed anything over these past few weeks that is missing from my collection that's an absolute must-have on the console, let me know down in the comments below. And while you're down there, please be sure to also hit those like and subscribe buttons, as well as that little notification bell so you can alert every time I got a new video coming out. Now, as always, I'm GameDad. I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you later.